Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr, and are joining me on today's episode to talk about another cardiac game. This team is going to give you chest pain. I feel like we need the descriptor of if you have any heart complications, probably don't go to a Kickers game. I feel like that label needs to be thrown out there. But before I get into all of that, Matt, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. I wouldn't call that another game like the prior home game. I feel like they're very different, like in nature and how they ended. So we can talk about that later on.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say this: the Kickers are more excited than they were last year.
Yeah, they're not boring.
Yeah, you can't accuse them of being that. You cannot accuse them of being that. Also joining us, and I want to give a special shout out to her because the newest episode of Vinecast, back for season 2, Kate has taken this and made it his own little thing, is coming back on next week. So, Kate, how are you doing, ma'am? Getting ready for hosting duties.
Yeah, I'm getting scared. I'm already tired. I started a new job, and it has me in the office pretty much every day. It's out in Short Pump, so I'm fighting battles on the highway on I-64 every morning and afternoon. So adding on watching 2 Ivy games a week in detail. No FOP mob. Remember, guys, there is no FOP mob to help us out with the stats, with the results, with the players. Yeah, it's gonna be a long but really fun 2 months ahead. But yeah, a lot of work, hopefully, to deliver quality Ivy related content.
This is what we get for pre-professional soccer. But before I get into that, Kate, I gotta know, since you're all going to Short Pump, how many middle fingers have you thrown up since you have started this new job?
Oh my gosh.
What's the middle finger to F word ratio?
I'm definitely more of a verbal person, so definitely a lot on the latter. But yeah, I wouldn't say we're sending our finest out to Innsbruck every day from the city.
Matt, let me ask you, since you're taking 95 to get to Kickers games, what's the middle finger to F word ratio for you?
It's not that bad, really.
Oh, okay.
You drive out off times, the traffic's not as particularly bad.
No, if you're a talented driver, other people stay out of your way and don't bother you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Or if you're on 95 at certain times, nobody's moving, so there's nothing to react to anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. Do you ever take the Easy Pass?
I mean, if it's really dire, but even then, not often because I am cheap. And if that sign is saying something with 4 digits on it, that's probably not happening.
Okay, fair enough.
Time is money, but unfortunately, in that case, it's a lot of money.
Like if we got a midweek game and it's looking a little tight, okay, that might be the time for it. But other than that, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, man. I remember the one time I went up to Philly and I didn't have my Easy Pass, so even when you drive there, you still get billed for it. I saw that bill. I said some unholy words to man, I was so pissed. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about, especially about this game. But before I head into that, shout out to, I don't know, did we talk about it before? The U20s? Did we talk about the U20s? How they did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I forgot. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Well, speed past that part, folks. Before we talk about the game, make sure, as always, to give us a like, share, and subscribe. Share with a friend. You can do so at rivercity93.com, on Blue Sky, YouTube, all that stuff, and Instagram. Or if you want to donate to the podcast, you can do so at ko-fi.com/rivercity93 or at rivercity93.com. That would be greatly appreciated. But guys, we are here to talk about this 3-3 game against Greenville, a team we have not beaten at home, because I felt like this stat has been coming up everywhere over the past week or so since 2020. Now, we have beaten them down there on the, like as you said, on the gridiron. So to let them know we have a better offensive line. Yeah. Why is Greenville this tough of a team for us to beat? Why is this trouble hours against them?
Well, for one, they're usually pretty good just in general. So it's not like this is I don't know, pick your favorite cannon fodder, Fuego, Orlando City B, a Chattanooga, teams that a Tormenta, if you will, a team where you're like, okay, they're probably be stacking some wins, here. I haven't gone back and looked. I imagine there's a healthy number of draws in that list.
4 draws.
Yeah, so it's not like it's been getting beat every single time. There's been a lot, probably more draws than anything else.
Well, 5 if you count this one. So yeah,
I think you count that one, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of it. Sometimes it's what's going on. Like the last game of 22, we'd already clinched the league. It didn't really matter, and they needed it. So they were pushing hard at the end. They got the draw, there, and then some of it's just good fortune, bad fortune, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, that's true. Greenville is one of those teams where it's like, they are a tough team to play, especially with like their 3 geriatric players: Brandon Fricky, Tyler Prolock, and Evan Lee. Every time I look at Evan Lee, I'm like, you were not this player in Richmond. Like, where did this come from? This
because he shaved.
Probably that. As my dog walks in, sniffing for treats. But yeah, like so far, well, let me ask y'all this. What was y'all overall, like before the game started, how did y'all think this game was going to go? Because I felt like this game was going to be a draw. It felt like a draw kind of game. Like, I wasn't expecting the way how this game started, but it did feel like it had kind of draw energy around it all around.
I was honestly I was hoping for a win only because Greenville haven't had the hottest start to the season. Yeah. So, if there was a moment to beat them and score a couple goals, it felt like an opportunity to do so. Kickers clearly have no problem scoring goals this season. But now we seem to sort of be establishing a pattern in the opposite direction as well in terms of conceding goals. I guess Tormento were so bad that the warning signs didn't come through that game because it's only increasingly become more obvious that the goals are leaking left and right. So, and now we can say that for certain. No excuses, no championship opposition. So, I mean, going into it, I was hoping that we could take advantage of the sort of slow start to the season and get 3 points, only because Kickers are only as high up on the table as they are because of how many games in hand we have over every other team in the league pretty much. So I was hoping that they could have snatched 3 points. That would have been useful in the league, but also from a momentum perspective. But
yeah,
the pattern continues.
Yeah, I went in thinking that this was really going to be like the best and truest indicator of what this team might really be, at this point, because Kate, like you said, Greenville, slow start this year. We know they're going to have some quality. They're probably not going to hang down, with the bottom tier, throughout. I don't know if they're going to be as good as they've been in, some past years, but I think they're most likely a playoff team, somewhere in that probably, 4 to 6, type range. And this kind of in the stick, you measure against, right here, especially on a home, game. So I was hopeful that they'd be able to go in and build off of the attacking elements, from some recent games. They did that. There's the other piece, that puzzle that carried forward as well. But cautiously optimistic, I guess, is the way I would have put it going into it, and hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. So Darren's lineup in this game kind of give us an indication. Obviously, we know this now, but if you listen to the post-game show, no Griffin Garnett, he picked up a knock in training. So you had a back line of Maxi Schenfeld, Guy Franca. Cello made his return to the lineup after being out injury, and Simon Fitch. James Snyder was in goal. And then you had a midfield trio of Chandler Dwyer, Dakota Barr-Nathan, and Sufert. And then a front three of Darwin, Emmy, and Kirkland as well up there. So it looked like what Darren wanted to do on paper was like, all right, we're going to quote unquote try to shore up the back line, have some height back there because you're assuming it's Greenville. There's going to be some element of crossing or, some kind of level the ball's going to be on the ground a lot, so we need physical center backs. But then also you have the speed to try to get it behind. And I felt like two things were for certain. One, Darren told his team, target Tyler Pollock. Like, the first couple of times, man, I literally thought about you, about what you said. And I found a clip about Tyler being burned by Matt Baldock. That's literally like, I felt like they did the entire time. Because how many balls went out, long balls, went out that direction to Kirkland, where get it behind and burn him. So much so the first goal. And then the other thing I think Darren told his team was, we're not wasting energy about trying to build up through the midfield or have our center backs be part of that build-up process. Like, once you get the ball, go long to the wings. If it gets lost, if it goes out of balance on the other side of the field, or if it, is a turnover on the other side of the field, I can live with that. I felt like those are the two things like Darren really was trying to implement. That really stood out to me in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got quite a bit of enjoyment. Didn't hit the prediction perfectly, but seeing Kirkland instead of Bolduc just roasting, Pollock right from the start, of the game, and yeah, it seemed like they were picking on him, right?
Yeah.
Just the number of it was like the 2022, long balls, long diagonals to Bolaños, just mirror image to the other side, to Kirkland instead. This time, and
just flip.
And yeah, I mean, a decent number of them didn't get through, but they're not going to, with that. Like, I mean, as much as you're clowning on Pollock, he's still a professional defender. He's going to cut out, most of those flighted balls. But the times that he didn't, Josh Kirkland was feasting on him $1.50 at a time.
Yeah, he was. So about the long balls, for instance, the kickers in this game alone, they had 15. Hit 58% of them. Do you feel like 58% is good? Like, do you feel like that's a good percentage when it comes to long balls?
Probably. I think it comes out so much down to how somebody wants to label it being, successful versus unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Like, what classifies as a long ball versus, clear. I don't get too worried about like the precision of those stats.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. Just wondering, like, is 58% a good percentage or whatnot? Because, I mean, Greenville, they had 48%, but obviously Greenville was trying to play a little bit more on the ground. Talk about this first goal from James Kirkland. First of all, first and foremost, the Josh Kirkland fan page, I love it. It is fun. Because you got to have your own media. I love that for them. Even his dad was there. I didn't know his dad worked for the bank, but they were there, had like their own little fan section and everything. But talk about the first goal. First goal, it was very simple. I think it was Niels with the throw in and threw it right behind. I don't know what the Greenville defenders were doing because it felt like both of them was just like, oh, okay, like we can kind of lollygag on this. And here goes Kirkland right behind them. And I don't know if to call this a shot. Like, I don't – did he – because it looked like it was a cross. Like, he was trying to, like, place it over the keeper, or he was like, either I'm going to just smash her in the face with this ball. But either way, he went in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think – go ahead, Kate.
It was a little like – honestly, he seemed like Seifert overplayed it a little bit. Like, it had a lot of power on it, and it was in the air, and Josh had to take it down out of the air. And then he was pretty far outside the goal as well. So he did a lot of work to cut inside and give himself any angle to put that on target. So, yeah, I think the whole thing kind of materialized pretty quickly and unexpectedly. And Josh did a lot of work to control that ball and get himself in a position where he could even get it on frame and put his laces through it. Can't complain about that finish.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think really good pass by Niels just to be able to angle it in a way that it could actually get to Kirkland. A good run, and what it reminded me of the shot at least, because the build up is completely different. But you think back to 2010, with this USA versus Slovenia, Landon Donovan, scoring in that game. Granted, he had like half the field in the run with Josh had like 2 touches there, but both of them, from close in tight angles, just roofed it, right over the goalie's shoulder. Watching this one in the stands, like I didn't believe that it went in at first. I was like, how could that have possibly gotten in?
I just got my food and like sat down in the press box and looked up, and it was like goal, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. So note to anybody who might be listening to this, multiple games in a row now, this team can and will score early. Don't wait to get in the stands.
Yeah, don't.
No.
Don't. Yeah, get in the section early. I know it was weird because it was a Friday at 7. But if you can get there early, make sure, because the Kickers now have a tendency of scoring early. I wonder. I don't know the data is anywhere, but like how many goals the Kicker have scored so far this year within like the first 15 to 20 minutes. Like it feels like a lot. It just feels like, without having the data in front of it, it feels like it is a lot more than maybe like the last 2 years combined.
Yes. It feels that way too. Maybe the numbers don't add up, but it feels like that for sure.
It feels like it. Like it's
they
like
actually don't have to take an entire half to wake up like we've seen from them in the past.
No.
I would have described it differently. I feel like in the past it was always good first half. How's the second half going to go?
Right.
That's not the same reasoning, for some of these thoughts this year.
Yeah, we'll talk about a lot of that because got some thoughts. So I'm gonna bypass the next. We'll go back to Kirkland, talk about his brace. He got a brace off of Darwin. Actually, if you go back, like Darwin 1v1 ability is such an underrated skill. Like, not to be like.
Do you think it's underrated? I feel like that's his strongest part of his game.
Underrated in the terms of like, that's not what. That's been like the thing that stood out to me the most. But like, the way how he was told to us is like, oh, he's like a one. He's going to be a pacey player. He's going to get it behind like that. Like, the way how Darren and staff was talking about him. But like, just watching him, like his 1v1 are like his ability to process situations and create situations 1v1. I'm just going to be flat honest with you. I don't think we've had a winger to do that in a while. Like Bolaños Sarasu was pace, getting behind and, finishing that second year. But like, there was a couple of times like 1v1, you're kind of like, all right, Johnny, I need you to, have that. Darwin has that.
Yeah, he has it like for creation, for chance creation for others because he's has a boatload of assists already this season, and he creates opportunities for himself. A lot of times players are better at one or the other, but he seems to do both. He can take a player on 1v1 and take that step, get an extra yard, hit a shot from distance, or cut to the end line, cross it back. This is his second assist just like this, of beating someone 1v1, getting to the end line and cutting it back across goal, and someone there just to tap it in. So, he kind of has he's so three-dimensional in his attacking output.
Yeah.
That's why he's player of the month nominee.
Right.
With about 2% of the votes right now.
I refuse to vote on those things. I need that know.
Did they give him the assist on that, or did they give it to Emmy, or did they say it touched somebody else so nobody gets an assist?
Let me see. I think officially, no, they didn't credit the assist to anyone. I think they said they touched
doesn't have any assists at all listed for any of the goals.
Oh, my fault. No, Opta said there was a touch on it because Emmy Did Emmy backheel this? I'm still trying to figure out if he did or not.
Let's just go with yes and be
Okay,
generous.
yeah, that's all. But they're saying like when he backheeled it, someone touched it, and then Kirkland put it in. So that's what they're saying. That's not an assist. I have it as an Emmy assist, and I'm gonna just go with that.
Did they do Gee dirty later on in the game too? Then
Yeah, they don't have him get an assist because his shot hit the crossbar.
it's
Which,
awful.
by the way, I know I'm gonna say my thought about that chance that happened. How my heart was almost in my chest at that moment. Go back and watch the replay. But yeah, this goal is probably one of my favorite goals just because of the way how Darwin sets up this 1v1 chance. The ball goes across goal, and then you have Emmy crashing. And this is how you know Emmy is such an important figure because how Emmy's going towards the ball. Everyone, and I mean everyone of Greenville's defenders forget all about Josh Kirkland at the back post and just gravitates towards Emmy. And it just leaves him wide open for him to tap it into the back of the net at that point. And now this is 2 games in a row that Kirkland has back-to-back braces. And this is the first game we get Kirky scoring in front of Section O twice. He didn't seem like he knew what to do on the second one, though. He's kind of was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You grab the ball, do the gimmick, get the ball back to the Hatfield circle. We go again, equalizer versus taking an opportunity to celebrate what was a great goal.
I mean, maybe not go again. We needed to slow this game down a little bit because this game definitely had like a basketball feel to it. Like it was up and down, up and down.
It became that because I think what's really shaped my opinion of this game was the first half hour. The Kickers were so dominant in play, like whether in possession, creating chances, or being able to effectively defend. Like I can't count the number of times that the midfield trio of Chandler, Niels, and Dak were just able to cut off passes, redirect Greenville players backwards, just deny them really have the ability to do anything in the attack. Like
their crosses were missing. They just were putting the ball out of play. Like they couldn't actually hit feet. Like
we saw the U of uncertainty a lot from Greenville in that game.
Yeah, that first half hour was probably the best this team has looked in a long time, I thought.
Yeah.
And I know a few of us in different conversations, around 20th, 29th minute, we're like, oh, we look really good. I wish we get another one, to be able to take a little ease off of this, because we found out we all had these conversations around the same time after the game, because then disaster did strike, and all of a sudden for all the good that was there, we're losing.
Yeah, it felt like I think there's a chance I'm missing in there, but I felt like there was maybe 1 or 2 chances right before Greenville got 2 ahead of us. It felt like if the Kickers can score 1 more, it felt like all right, we can kind of put our foot on the ball. To me, I've watching this game in the press box, it felt as if like the Kickers had a game plan and it was working. But the missing part of it was like they could never really get their foot on the ball and just slow the game down. It felt like ADHD soccer. Like it felt like just go, 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 go. Like get the ball in behind, go, go. And it just never felt like we had that moment where we could just like, all right, let's just slow it down just a little bit. Like, make them work and not us just keep going and going and going. But I mean, like to the benefit of that, like that is what this Kickers team is. This Kickers team is going like it's fast break offense on grass. And with that, you are going to make your own mistakes. And that's what happened twice in this game. Like, if you go look at the 2 goals, she agrees with me. If you go look at the 2 goals in this game that we gave up to Greenville, it's a result of us just playing way too quick. Like the first goal is a bad build-up structure because we're trying to play quick. Chella comes out for a bad slide tackle. The ball skims across the front of the net, and James Snedden makes an amazing save. Like, an amazing save. I almost didn't think I wanted to believe at first like a defender got a touch to it, and then our defender just kind of got flat-footed, and Evan Lee put it in the back of the net.
Not Evan Lee.
Oh, really? They got Evan Lee scoring it. Oh, Evans. Whatever. Same people. All these people are the same.
Real. I know. Well, and Maxey had gone to ground as well, looking to make the block, and then by the time he gets back up, the shot I think ricochets off him and in.
Yeah.
So it was like if he hadn't gone to ground, but he needed to go to ground because he didn't know James was behind him making the stop. James makes the stop, but Maxey's already gone to ground. I don't know if I can blame him too much there because he had no idea what was going on behind him. So he was trying to get his body in the way, but it meant, he was not in position. He, first of all, didn't expect the ball to actually be stopped, I assume, on that shot, and wasn't able to close the ball down. And I think it ends up coming off him and skittering across the face and into the side netting, which was frustrating.
So I had a different, way that I viewed that one. It sounds like the way you two, did. So I'm trying to see if I can even pull it up real fast. So what I was, seeing was it started long before, that through ball that, Chella tried to, cut out, and, kind of missed on. So if you watch a lot of the games, typically we end up seeing when the kickers go on defense, Emmy's up high, and then Chandler's defender who comes out and really works to be able to do the high pressing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's great. It's good to have your pressing structures set. This time, I saw Niels, go up and try to pressure a ball, attack a ball. Again, fine, great, no problem there. They're able to get around him and play it, a little bit more into the middle, and whichever guy it was is able to just kind of start to go up and go into the midfield because I don't know who somebody didn't rotate around quite right. I think it might have been Emmy, but the guy carries it probably a good 30 yards out the field to get the play going, and that's when you get into the spots with that. I think it was just a good pass. Chella did what he could with that, and I think it's probably Darwin who didn't track a guy back at all because it's the right back who scores. Maxey's pinched in to be able to cover a guy in the center, and I think it's another rotation thing. So a rotation, a drop off at the front end of the play, and a rotation drop off at the back end of the play. So I think that's a little bit of communication, organization pieces rather than I think necessarily individual on ball mistakes. I think it's actually off ball mistakes instead.
So this is the first time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, someone will probably correct me, but I think this is the first time we've seen the center back pairing of Guy and Chella, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Matt, you just talked about communication. Like, do you think that might have played any part of that as well? Because I'm like
on the next goal, yes. On this goal, no.
Okay.
On this goal, it's the front group. So like it looked like Emmy not rotating, to be able to cover Niels' territory there and allowed the defense to essentially get out. And then on the back end, like Darwin's, I think, or maybe it's one of the midfielders, has to be able to recognize, hey, this guy is literally all alone in the box. I mean, Maxey's already got a guy up. Oh crap, that's got to be me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that. So, like, on the second goal, and before we really dive into the second goal, because I think this one is outrageous. Me and Kate, we were in Section O talking about it, about like Guy, and having watched enough of Guy, I think it's fair to say we kind of know the player that Guy is. Guy is the attributes that make Guy a good player or a center back. He is physical. He's a decent 1v1 defender. He's good with his back towards goal or with he can be handsy with a defender. The thing that Gee struggles with, I think, showed up in this play, and actually before this play, he struggles with the ball in the air, struggles with tracking the ball, and he struggles when this is going to sound weird because I just say he was a decent 1v1 defender. He struggles when like an attacking player is like 10 feet away from him coming towards him. If that makes sense. Like those are the three things I think Gee struggles with.
Great combination of things for a defender.
Yeah. Like those are the things I think that Gee, I understand what he was trying to do because he's trying to get this ball out. Like once again, is that diagonal ball to Kirkland that we've seen him do so many times. And I don't know what it was, but he has his diagonal and he mishits it, goes straight to the Greenville player. And then I don't know if he tries to square up or what, but he just gets caught flat-footed and the through ball goes. It was close to him. I don't understand how or why he didn't try to stop the through ball or couldn't get a foot out. Maybe I was just too far away in the press box.
Well, he fell when he tried. He slipped and fell when he was trying to play that ball in the first place. I don't think he got his footing all the way back, and that's why when the ball comes right back down his throat, he's still not fully set, able to move, and it left Maxey out to dry too, because Maxey had already flared wide for a pass as well. Zawadzki, was in between them, so he already had the angle right there. So on the highlight, it makes Maxey look awful because you see him chasing. But
I mean, it also was a pinpoint pass. Like you see that pass not come off 8 times out of 10. So the player who intercepted it also played a pretty pinpoint perfect pass, which is frustrating after watching a major individual error. See someone then play the exact thread the needle pass that unlocks the defense like a hot knife through butter.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, there's nothing he could do on this. There's really nothing he could do on any of the goals in this game and whatnot, because I say
that save that he made on that first one was insane. Like that would have been save of the season contention if the ball had actually stayed out. I couldn't even believe that he'd gotten to that first ball.
No. But I've seen some crazy takes from people saying like we need to get another goalkeeper. Like, no, we don't. no, we don't. We're good. We don't need that position field. There might be other positions that we need that are a little bit more important that we'll talk about later. But going back to that second goal that we gave up to Greenville, like I kind of feel like it's the same conversation we've been having about, the center back position is just the error proneness. And I mean, some of that is going to happen when you have a literal minor back there. What is he, 19? He's still 19.
What do you think a minor is?
Anyone that's under 20.
Not true.
All I know is he can't.
Emotionally, he's
emotionally, he's still developing. The frontal lobe isn't there yet. Now the other two, there's no excuse. Like I need them to kind of clean up those mistakes all around this group as a whole.
And stop falling over. They were falling left and right in Louisville. Well, that's the new cleats. I don't know.
Like, do we need longer studs? Do we need to start a stud donation?
I mean, I can halfway understand it on the road. You're not used to that field. Maybe you don't know. This is your home field. Like you should know like what kind of footwear is the proper footwear for that. And it was happening a few times during the game. Like I don't know what the equipment guy or anything is doing there, but I mean, at this point in the season, it's not acceptable.
Yeah, no, I don't know why. Maybe I should ask in the next press conference what's going on with these slips because we've seen a lot of them. But yeah, like the center back group, I felt like collectively this is a group that we all kind of had like the question mark on, just given the number of people there, like the lack of bodies there.
I feel like if we go back and listen to the preseason show, we're gonna
Yeah,
it's not going to age well already with our thoughts on the strengths and weaknesses of this team.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And that's when we choose not to listen to it. But yeah, like
Past is past.
yeah, maybe I need to go back and listen to this. So I won't make that statement. What I will say is this: after 8 games, we're coming up on 10.
We played 10.
Yeah. Oh,
Jaeger and Open Cup.
We have played 10. So I mean, yeah, you're right. My fault. I was looking at the league table. So after 10 games or so, I think the center back group is probably the group that I have probably the most concern with, just because of the error proneness there and what's being asked of them. Like, I get it. Like, once again, like, this is the way how the Kickers are going to play. They're going to play this fast break. You're going to have error proneness because it's very much quick tempo and it's go, 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 go. And I don't want to go back to what we were last year, which is very slow on the ball and error, like, not being afraid of making a mistake. I just want the center backs to be cleaner on the ball. Like, I feel like if we can get that, it will clean up a lot of the goals that we have given up. Because a lot of the goals that we have given up hasn't been a result of teams like pulling us apart with passes. It's been we make a mistake in our own box, and now we're left in a 1v3 or 1v2 situation and left Snetter on the island.
Mm-hmm. A lot of self-inflicted goals.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but that goal differential would be looking a lot different if a couple of those errors.
No.
Well, the point total will be looking a little different.
Yeah. And this is the crazy thing. Like, we're not out of everything we're saying, because the last few games this guy finished playing, we're still 4th.
I mean, come on, we know there's an asterisk on that.
Oh, yeah. No, we know. I'll put out a points per game table tomorrow. I'm pretty sure even if we're 4th, we're probably 6 truly on this. And that's another thing too. I want League One to fix. Like, please, like, can we just get like every team starting almost at the same point? Like,
yeah, no, it's like impossible to
we're
get
close,
the true measure. What?
Yeah, at least be close. I don't mind if like we're on 8 and like Spokane on 7 games or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
we should have multiple teams on 5 and 4 games. Like, it makes it hella unbalanced. So we should not, because Naples and AV also was supposed to play yesterday, but their game got postponed because of weather. I think in AV also or whatever.
Naples.
Oh, in Naples? Okay.
Yeah, they were in the airport for like 12 hours.
Oh, snap. Yeah. That's insane. But, like, it shouldn't be us in Naples playing the most amount of games so far this year. Right? Like,
right, because have they just all had bye weeks? Like, I don't understand. There's no other competitions out. The Open Cup is
Portland literally played their first home game tonight. We're in May, and the season started in April.
Right. Well, I guess I just don't understand. Like, have just a bunch of teams just not played every weekend? Like, I don't understand why their games haven't been scheduled. Like, why are we not scheduling games?
Pretty much.
I mean, it's really hard to schedule, 14 teams to each be able to play each weekend, because 14 divided by 2.
The math just doesn't
work, right?
It's not like we have computers and algorithms and leagues.
The season started March 7th. The season started March 7th. And you have, hold on, how many teams have you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have half the table. They haven't even played 6 games in the league yet.
And Jaeger just started. It's not like, Jaeger's been breaking it up. Like, there's no other competitions that are competing for the team's time. Like,
so yeah, that's all I just want to say. Like, can we just get a more balanced table? So I'm not having to do points per game to figure out if we're truly as good as what the table says we're in 4th place.
We're not.
Hey. Yeah.
But our standards are skewed for what we're looking for in the team.
Well, I just want to make it be known on the preseason show, I'm the only one that had the Kickers in this position. Y'all had them with 9th.
Where do you have?
You might have had them. I said they were going to be a playoff team. I said they were going to the top part was 4, and then I said the floor was 8. So I'm not wrong.
I don't think you said anything about top 4.
No, I said 5th. But hey, they're still there. They're not too far out of it. But yeah, whatever. Moving on to the second half. So Gee's goal, I'll just go straight to the third goal for the Kickers. Gee's goal.
He didn't score a goal.
He didn't. I should say Gee's assist. Chandler scored his goal, which, by the way, was it you, Matt, who said it? Old Poacher?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
I just want you to know.
Joke. We just keep moving, Chandler a striker, Chandler whatever he is at that moment in time.
I just want you to know, I'm just going to get that on the back of her shirt. He's going to say, oh, striker, oh, Dwyer, oh, Poacher, oh, winger. Like this.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point, we run out of subs and, James gets hurt or sent off or something. Chandler O'Keeper.
Chandler O'Keeper is coming.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Give him one off season. I bet he could do it. He seems to be picking up new skills in between seasons every year.
Okay, this is really going to make me think. Has Chandler played center back?
Yes. Yeah. Not this season, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
has he played
end of 23 or so? That was the experiment.
Oh, yeah, it was. That's right.
It would be understandable if everyone had blocked it out completely.
I did. You said 23. I was like, oh, you can tell me he played keeper, and I'll probably believe you.
Mm-hmm.
I blocked it out.
We've seen Chandler a winger. We've seen Chandler OCB. We've seen him everywhere. I think they finally found where he's best. So
yeah,
I was hoping for all of last season. It felt like a constant audition for him to never play those positions again. Because sometimes they would stick him on the outside of the midfield triangle shape. Did not maximize his talents. So I finally feel like maybe we're out of the woods in terms of his bit piece usefulness is no longer useful in center back.
Hey,
and on the wings.
Chandler, one thing about Chandler, because everyone's been hitting me up about his interview. One thing about Chandler, he ain't gonna sugarcoat it. that boy gonna tell you exactly how he feels.
Yeah,
Right. He has standards. He has standards for himself and he has standards for the team. What a concept.
Yeah, he didn't seem to think it's a fourth place team right now either. What did he say? 3-3-2? What's that going to get you?
It's like how many goals have you given up? Yeah, it's not good enough. Rubbish.
Yeah. And you could tell because the goal he scored, that was the winner. That should have been the winner. There's no the fact that was not the winner of that game is a travesty.
And the thing about it is, the free kick goal, that we gave up to Greenville, if that was their first goal, okay, cool. All right, the game ends 3-1. And man, now I understand why you say you got a sour taste in your mouth about this game, because it's we inadvertently gave Greenville 2 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really controlled a good majority of the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That free kick goal was really frustrating. I mean, the commentator was calling it a golazo, so I assume this is the first soccer game this man has ever watched. But
Sir, Matt, this is the time. Can you please tell them the analogy that you told me that made me laugh?
Yeah. Okay. So if you're a American football person, you've probably seen this play happen a million times before. Team gets down, inside the 5-yard line or so, and they throw the fade route, and so you get your 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver, and inevitably gets put on a 5'7", 5'8" defensive back. That's what it looked like, to me. Simon trying to defend that free kick, never turns his head around. Looks like he's just trying to face guard the Greenville guy, and much like on the fade route, defense didn't work at all.
Katie, I know. The way how Matt describes it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. No, he might as well not have been there at all, honestly.
To be honest, when the goal happened, I was just we just had a free man running the box.
That's why I thought
go back and watch it. That's what I thought. And then when I went back and rewatch, I was like, oh, we had players. It just didn't matter.
No, oh my God. Yeah, that's just
right. I was all prepared to go back and watch and try to figure out did we put too many guys on the wall and didn't account for enough guys to defend the cross or whatever. Because I was just like you, I was certain that he was just left unmarked on the
Just
back
free.
post and ready to be furious about that instead.
Just free. No, just he just big boy Simon. Sorry, Simon, we love you, but yeah,
it wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. Like you do, unfortunately, when you are a grown man who's been in the league for this long, you have to figure out how to defend someone at the back post, especially in the 84th minute of a game that you just put the what should be the game winner in 30 seconds ago. You should be earning a foul. You should be going down. Like you should be pulling out the dark arts. You should be even honestly giving up a fucking penalty is better than basically giving him a free run at the back post. Cause at least then you're actually having to make him try harder. Oh my God. Rewatching that is like, it's not good enough. It's not.
And it's part of the other unfortunate pattern too is this team loves individual unforced errors, and lately they've loved giving up set piece goals, whether crosses off of free kicks or corners, and that's another area we thought this team was going to have a decided strength this year, and it's not coming to pass. Like I don't know if it's one of these type of things where okay team that likes to press doesn't like to be pressed, and kickers notorious for converting a decent amount on their free kicks as well because of guys like Chandler and Dak, some of those guys that get on the end of those. So I don't know if it's
to be honest with you, I don't think we have a defender that is good in the air. Outside of,
we thought it was Chella, but I don't know.
I thought so too. But I think Chella and Gee, like Chella is just a better Gee. Like Chella is balls on the ground. He's fine. He's a physical defender, but he's not an aerial. Like I don't think that's his game. I don't think there's either one of them games really. Like so, then who? Like you just said it. Like the best two aerial threats we have in the team, defending or attacking, is probably Chandler and Dak. Then outside of that, like I would struggle to think of who's the best aerial threat. And then if you go look at the list of center backs, who's probably the last good aerial center back that we had? Maybe Avon.
Here's the free kick king, but
yeah, maybe Ani. Which, by the way, like Ani was at the game. Yeah, he's retired now, but
yeah, Deli was there too.
Yeah,
another big boy who could do work in the box.
Yeah, so I mean, like maybe that's something the kickers like need to think about when it comes to
get Chandler run drills. He's figured it out. He's learned how to do it. He's not necessarily the most physically imposing person, but he's managed to figure out how to get his head on the ball in the box. It's not rocket science. It's quite literally one of the simplest things to do. You just have to jump higher than the guy you're standing next to. You have to get your timing right.
See, that's the problem. Like, can these guys jump? I need to see verts. You know what? That's what we need. We need to have an NBA combine with our center backs to see, like, okay, like, can you dunk? Can you jump? Like, what's your jump shot look like? And these are the things I need to know now.
But they're also huge. Like, both of those guys are huge men. Like, it shouldn't be that much of a challenge to be taller than, like, most of the other people standing around them.
No, it's not. But when you go in the air, like, it's like when you ask a linebacker to go play, like, free safety or defend, like, a long throw, and they have no idea what they're doing. So the first thing they go through is just, like, grab the wide receiver and get, like, a defensive pass interference. Like, that's what it feels like when it comes to our two center backs. Like, they're physical. Like I said, their strong suit is being physical. The ball's on the ground in front of them, I can trust them in that situation. Balls in the air, it's a little dicey. But yeah. Any other thoughts on this game? Besides, it being a 3-3. I'm just glad Greenville didn't come over and celebrate in our face. I thought that was going to happen again.
Yeah.
Maybe they've started taking notes. You don't want to give up the stoppage.
I kind of low-key was hoping for it. Like our Uno card. Like I was kind of hoping it was gonna happen. But this is another thing too. Like also 5K at City Stadium is becoming the standard at this point. Like
Good, it should be.
yeah. Like I just sitting there watching the stadium, it was like, okay, yeah, like that's pretty impressive.
And the rest of the crowd was getting into it. Like, I don't know if you could hear on the broadcast the whole stadium chanting right here, right now when Chandler scored that goal, which is part of why it's so frustrating that ultimately wasn't the winner, because it was the entire stadium was chanting. Like everyone was clapping, everyone was standing up. Like I haven't seen the whole stadium that engaged since the Henny Derby in last year. And even then, I don't know if that many people were even standing up and actually chanting, like all in one. And the same thing happened when then Kickers got another corner right near the end. And everybody did the same thing. The whole stadium was chanting. And obviously it's hard to make that magic happen, twice in a row. So understandable that there wasn't another winner after that. But yeah, Chandler deserved that, being the winner for actually seizing that moment that the stadium was sort of behind the team and making that noise. And it's so frustrating to see then the immediate concession.
Right. So right now, I mean, this is where the Kickers stand. So after 8 games, we got 3 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, 17 goals scored, 15 given up. That puts us 4th in the table. I'm gonna ask y'all this: like, do you feel like this is where the Kickers are kind of leveling out as? Like we're seeing like Matt, what you said, like we're seeing what this Kicker team is probably going to be for the rest of the year. Kind of like Jekyll and Hyde, a very up and down team.
Yeah, I could see them being around, 500-ish the rest of the way. Having a pretty, normal distribution of wins, losses, and draws along the way. Like what was 2021, where they didn't have like repeat results for ages. Like never went like back to back with wins or losses or draws for forever, which is weird. But I wouldn't be surprised, if in the long run that's what it looks like. Again, like you might hit, a couple hard patches, a couple easy patches, somewhere where they can stack a couple wins, might take a couple losses in a row if the schedule isn't friendly somewhere along the way. But I think that's likely to be where they end up, and realistically that would probably put you in to bottom playoff type spot.
Yeah. Or for my prediction, top 5.
I think, so far there's been a lot of goals scored, goals conceded, but on the whole, more goals scored for the Kickers in wins than goals conceded in losses. So they haven't been blown out outside of the game against Louisville, which is kind of an outside case. They're a very good team in a league above.
Jägermeister results don't count. We're not.
Obviously that might be a whole different barometer, but as of now, we've played Madison, we've played Greenville, we've played Charlotte, 1 goal margins or draws. So that doesn't read to me like, okay, we can just automatically chalk losses against teams on the table. Naples is very good. Spokane is very good. So we'll see, Knoxville is very good. So there are some teams who are, but I also just watched Knoxville draw and have very out of ideas for the entire second half against Portland, who has also not been very good this season. So I don't think that any result is currently out of reach, because even the draws and the losses, they haven't lost by as much as they've won by. So I will take that, because for the past couple of seasons, it's felt like we could just automatically chalk results off. There's teams who were going to beat us and there was kind of nothing we could do about it. This one, it does kind of feel like any result could fall into any of those 3 categories, which is something. You put results together that way, and we could get some maybe unexpected results or take points off the teams at the top of the table because of that. And ideally, individual errors or something you can reduce with better concentration, with better discipline. with better organization, if you tighten up, ideally you could eliminate some of those and maybe turn those drop points into points on the board. So I don't know. I'm not pessimistic yet because there hasn't been any blowout losses. There hasn't been any truly disappointing performances start to finish.
I feel like you might have told on yourself there with saying I'm not pessimistic yet.
Well, I mean, I wasn't pessimistic at the beginning of 2024, and then things took a very
I was
nosedive for about 3 months and took a major roll of the dice to put any results together. So as of now, if things continue as is, and we could beat any team on any day. We could also lose by 1 goal to any team on any day. We could also draw 7-7 with any team on any day.
Hey, all I would say is this: if this team was in the Jaeger Cup last year, I like our chances a lot more. If this team was in the Jaeger Cup last year, I like our chances a lot more.
We would have won the whole damn thing.
Man, what? Matter of fact, like after 10 games, I mean, Kate, you just gotta say you're not neutral, but you're kind of like in that range of like neutrally pessimistic, maybe.
I think that like if you tighten up, like the team is in a position where you can get better more easily than you can get worse. But we haven't necessarily seen this team actually been able to get better outside of the fluke run of performances at the end of last season. So, and that was
Matt, where are you at on this?
Still neutral to optimistic-ish, just because of the offense piece. I feel like it's easier to fix defense than it is to fix attack.
Yeah.
Right. Like we even saw that last year. Like the defense was, a little meh for a while, and then they started to figure it out. The offense really didn't figure it out at any point. But the defense picking it up was able to turn those 1-1s into 1-0 wins, which were just enough to push them into the playoffs. So, yeah, if Darwin and Emmy and Kirkland and Niels and the guys can Chandler can keep on putting 2 in the net on average consistently, I'm going to take our chances with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same way. Like I'm neutrally optimistic, probably a little bit more optimistic than y'all too. Just because like what I've seen of this team so far, like this team's been in every game outside of course, the one US Open Cup game. And I mean, the game against Louisville, like I said, like that game doesn't matter because it's Jägermeister and doesn't matter. Outside of that, like, this team has been in every game. This team is producing on offense. I like what I see in the build-up. I agree with you, Matt. I think it's easier to fix the defense given the players that you have is just kind of like maybe, getting someone in there that can just slow the ball down a little bit. So we're not just going so gung-ho and stuff. But, I mean, if you would have told me after the first 8 games in League One, like this team is sitting 4th, I would have took that. Like, I think any of us would have took that.
I would have hoped that the table was a little more balanced.
I mean, that is true. I think, like, right now you can say, like, the teams that are definitely good in League One, like Spokane, Knoxville, I think Naples is a surprise. Well, okay, like, maybe we haven't played – we played 1 out of those 3 teams. And we play fairly close to Naples on their field that is a massive home advantage. So to be surprised to see how they do here. We haven't played the other two yet, but like Charlotte, Greenville, and Tormenta are below us. Yeah, Charlotte, a solid squad.
Well, we're level with Charlotte. Both on 11. Yeah. Both on 11 points. Both of the +2.
Yeah. And Greenville, we just drew with them, and Tormenta, we beat them.
And we beat Omaha.
Draw and loss. Yeah, and we beat Omaha. Madison, we lost, but they're 10th in the table. So like right now, like. It feels decent. We'll see how the rest of the table goes out with everything else there. But right now, I think like this team is tending upwards versus the last 2 years. It felt like this team was either stuck in neutral or trending downwards, and it was just like us like okay, like we need like a miracle to get this to work. I don't feel that same way like I did years past.
I feel like we're in a similar spot to where we were in 2023, just a fun version of it instead of a dull version of it.
Yeah.
The first half of that, again, the last half of the year sucked, but the first half of the year was perfectly good to fine.
Yeah. Still, I don't know what happened in that locker room in Omaha. I need to know. All right. Well, that's whatever. So the Kickers won't play at home again to the end of the month, May 31st, but that does not mean there will be no games in City Stadium. We have a multitude of games coming up. We have Richmond Ivy. Make sure you check out Vinecast tomorrow. That show will be coming out on Tuesday. But Kate, Alan, Alex, we'll be doing a full preseason breakdown of the team, getting you prepared for that, for the game that's happening on Saturday. Which, by the way, if you need a ticket, because I'm not going to be in town, reach out to me. I have a ticket to give away. So first come, first serve for anyone that needs it. But then also you have U20 games happening at City Stadium throughout the month. So there are games happening at City Stadium, which, by the way, if you want to go to U20 games, as long as you are, I think if you're a season ticket holder, season ticket member, you get into games for free, or City Stadium Plus is like 50% off. So tickets might be like $5 or something. I don't really know. Yeah, they're cheap. So you have that. But the Kickers will be on the road for the next 3 games, and I feel like this is probably gonna be a strong point. We have Chattanooga, then we have 2 Sunday games, so Spokane and then Westchester coming up as well. But we'll talk about the Chattanooga game, a place that we have not won at yet in our USL League One history. Matt, Kate, I'm calling it now. We break the streak. We get our first win in Chattanooga.
Hope so.
This season. I'm
kind of needs to be that way, right?
Oh man, I can't. I can't go on another year without winning in Chattanooga. Like, I need a win in Chattanooga, just for my own sake, because I can't go another year, because we won't see them again this year unless it's at home. But I mean, you're talking about a Chattanooga team that, I mean, they have Matt Bentley there, but they are statistically one of the least ball dominant teams. Like, I think they have all around the year, I think they have like 35% possession. Like, this is a team that does not want to play with a ball. So it felt like we could create some semblance of turnovers, get a goal, and hopefully add another goal is going to take a lot for Chattanooga to get back in this game. Like, they don't have the same explosive firepower as they did in years past. That, you know, the Rafa Michigans, the Rupert Mensahs, and whatnot, that will make you be like, all right, you got to be wary of Chattanooga on the counterattack. You know?
Yeah, but weird stuff always seems to happen there. So
don't tell me that. Like, I don't need to hear that. I know it does, but I don't need to hear it.
We just need weird stuff to happen in our favor.
You know what I need? I need an Emmy. This would be the perfect time for the Emmy hat trick. This would be
I would accept it.
This would be the perfect time. How do you think Darren goes about with this game, knowing that Chattanooga does not care about playing with the ball in the feet? Do you think Darren sticks with the high octane, counterattacking, or does he try to play a little bit more with the ball on the ground and try to pull Chattanooga apart? I hope he does it, because I don't want to play into Chattanooga's hand.
No, I don't think he switched it up significantly.
Yeah,
I think you see what's been working. You still leverage those pieces and try to fix some of those defensive elements along the way, but it's not going to abandon what he's all about right now. And everything he's openly said about this year is that, hey, we're moving more towards counterattacking, fast action, attacking style. Make them bend, make them break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, can you guys guess how many draws have been in this series between us and Chattanooga?
Oh, was this year 7 now? So we probably played them 14 or 15 times, I guess. Overall,
we have played them a total of 18 times since 2019.
8 draws.
1.
Really?
Yes. And that was the 2-2 in
2022,
Chattanooga.
yeah.
We were up 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
God.
Like I said, weird stuff happens there.
We were up 2 goals. And he even
I
went
think 2
down
goals.
a man.
I think 2 goals and a man.
Oh. Yeah. So Chattanooga has 11 wins, and we have 6. So, but the majority of their wins are at home. So, yeah. So you have that. 8 wins, 1 draw, no Kickers wins.
Cool.
Hey, we're beating it this year. We are beating it. I'm speaking it into existence. And if so, just know I will be celebrating in the nation's capital. Walking around my freedom papers. But yeah,
I mean that's a weird way to describe Chattanooga, Tennessee, but all right.
I mean, no. I don't think I'll be going to Chattanooga anytime soon. I have no reason to be there. None whatsoever. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't think so. Matt, any last things for you before we wrap up, sir?
Friendly reminder to everyone, in addition to Ivy game next weekend, Mother's Day weekend. So
more important.
Do right by your mom.
Love your mom. Give her a
buy
hug.
her ticket to the Ivy Home opener. She'll appreciate it. It's the best gift that she could get.
Whatever you get your mom for Mother's Day, that same amount, send it to River City 93. That's how you help the podcast. Make us full time. Any last things from you, homie, before we wrap up?
No, just that I'm already tired. So everybody send good thoughts my way as I'm about to embark on navigating 2 months of really, really crappy YouTube streams, watching games.
You'll be fine.
You don't know that for sure yet.
Actually, the games are not on YouTube. Camp told me games are going to be on Sports Engine.
Sports Engine.
And we're gonna have a commentary team. A real commentary team. So hey, it's probably like a couple of college kids who are like, yeah, sure, get some practice. So yeah, we'll see. But apparently every game in USLW is going to be on Sports Engine this year. So it's not like last year where what was that team we played? Paduxent or Patuxent, whatever. It's just like, yeah, you can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
On somebody's phone. So yeah, no more.
Oh my god. Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. But with that being said, everyone, we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day for listening to our show. Because without you, we wouldn't want to do this, and we could not do this without you. So once again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go to ko-fi.com or River City 93 to donate to the show because it goes to the production cost of us covering this team, the Vinecast, the Final Whistle, and articles that we are starting to have produced to come out soon. So look forward to that because summer's coming up and I'm not working. So I have a bunch of free time to do stuff. With that being said, we will holler at you guys next week where these two lovely people, not me, and Chenier, hopefully, we'll be talking about a Kickers win and everything like that. So yeah, with that being said, we'll holler at you guys next week. Be easy and be safe.